Shadow Dugtrio in the Alolan form is actually really high up in the rankings for the Fantasy Cup, so let's see if this Pokemon is actually decent, but it definitely got buffed this season, so hopefully, was it a rhyme? I don't know. But yeah, let's take a look at the team here. We're going to have the Saisop of the Flygon. We have the normal variant, we don't have the Shadow variant anymore, because the Shadow variant is a hundo for me. And look at this nice leg there. Exactly, I always wanted to just hit a nice throw there, I don't know. Like, honestly, this is the funny thing as well for me. There was recently a video where I said like, oh, I feel like the game would be kind of ready for having like in-game tournaments or whatever, just to have like some kind of more competitiveness into PvP as well. And literally since then, my game runs like garbage, so that's great. Like, feel like Niantic heard my video, but otherwise, they're going to have in the back, of course, our Dugtrio. And this team is actually really balanced, and I like this team a lot, especially the Flygon is just so strong. Like, this Pokemon is insanely good. Honestly, let me know in the comment section already, what do you think about this meta so far? Like, what do you think about the Fantasy Cup? I feel like this is like one of those metas which is really cool for 4 days. And then like it kind of goes downhill and it's kind of like, yeah, okay, it's like the same Pokemon all over again. But I actually really enjoyed it for the last few days. And now I'm kind of like out of ideas what I want to run. So yeah, let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. First game here, our Dugtrio is gonna get taken down, but we can still farm them down with our Bubble Azumarill. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have the Berserker in the lead. And so, of course, you're going to swap out immediately as you have 2 ground types in the bag, allowing us to have some decent answers for that, but we don't really have a decent answer for the next opponent's Pokemon here, which is going to be the Togetic. I feel like Togetic's only target here in the current meta is the Flygon, but if you use Flygon as a Saisop, like most people do, I guess it's a solid Pokemon to run, and maybe something I should try out as well. I don't know, like it definitely does seem like a funny Pokemon to play, so maybe I'm gonna try it out. Who knows, but yeah, we're going to be able to still go for a charge move here against them, which is gonna do no damage, because every move that we have is double resisted, and we don't even get the debuff, which means that they can still go for the Dazzling Gleam against my Azumarill and do a ton of damage, and they're most likely going to be able to even get to another one, which kinda makes this even worse for us, and so we kinda have to hope that our Dugtrio is able to win this game for us. We're still forced to go for an Ice Beam here, which you're gonna do here as well, which the opponent most likely going to let go through as well, because 2 shield on Berserker is really strong. If you saw my video about Berserker as well, you most likely saw it there as well already. But as you're going to see here, the Mud Slap actually kinda subs them quite a bit, but we have the Azumarill in the backhand, so we can move on into the next game here. Decent lead for us, not the best either actually, like this matchup is kinda neutral. Of course, the Bubble buff kinda helped us out against the Galarian Stunfisk, but we're going to see here the Earthquake most likely coming through. We're going to take this one, we kinda want to keep our shields or whatever we have here in the bag, and they swap out into their Tapu Fini, which kinda tells me that they're most likely going to have their own Azumarill in the bag, which would be pretty problematic. I can still go for another Play Rough, and if they're going to let this move go through, I'm going to also let their move go through, and they do exactly this. Because what we can do here now is we can just basically take the opponent's Moonblast here. The Moonblast is coming through, but we can now take a ton of energy. Okay, like 2 fast moves of energy here with the Flygon. And even if they have the Azumarill in the back, which we will find out shortly if they do, it's going to be great because Azumarill against Flygon is actually fairly decent for the Flygon. And so we're going to be able to still reach another Scorching Sands here. Getting a shield from the opponent immediately is kind of great, but let's see what we can still do here. We're going to use a shield against the opponent's Ice Beam, which of course would completely destroy us, but we can go for another Scorching Sands, and maybe I want to just get the opponent a little bit lower. I don't maybe even want to get the knockout here or whatever, I just want to get them a little bit lower, and I can actually not reach another Scorching Sand. That's kind of sad because I really would have liked to do that, but I'm still going to let this move go through, hoping that my Dugtrio is going to be able to win this game for me. And let's see what the opponent is going to do here. We see already that the Mud Slap is slapping the opponent. We already have a move stored, and the opponent is deciding to swap out here into the Galarian Stunfisk, but we were throwing a charge move already, but we can get them insanely low, farm them all the way down, and the Dugtrio. Can we still reach the Iron Head? We can reach the Iron Head, and with this, Dugtrio is the MVP, getting the knockout here, and we can win this game. Let's move on to the next opponent. We're going to have a Shadow Flygon in the lead, which is not really ideal for the backline, at least for us, but we can still at least stay in here for a little bit as they swapped out into their own Azumarill. This matchup is something where you definitely want to stay in because your backline is not really that great against Azumarill. So what we're going to see here as well is that I'm going to go ahead and let the move go through, but I have now 1 fast move advantage, so it means I will always win CMP against the opponent, or like basically get to the move a little bit earlier than the opponent, which is kind of great. And so we will see here as well that that they should be kind of in range for just one more play rough. We're gonna see the opponent going for their own play rough. I can go for my play rough, and this should be a great matchup for me. Of course, it's going to still be a little bit tricky later on against the Flygon, but let's take a look at this. We're gonna be able to get the knockout here, and so we still have our Azumarill kind of healthy as the opponent swaps out into a Registeel. I swap into my own Flygon, have now an energy advantage. And knowing that there is a Registeel in the back, I'm going to be in a decent spot, because as long as I get some damage onto the opponent's Flygon here, or like both shields, I should be kind of fine. We will get the Dragon Claw off and we're gonna get another shield from the opponent, and at this point, I could decide to even let this move go through and just go for the full farm with my Dugtrio, but I didn't really want to do that. So I decided to go ahead and go for a shield here, but I know as well that if the opponent goes straight for a charge move with their Registeel, I can still outspeed them with my Dugtrio as well, which is kind of funny because we're gonna get that at the same speed basically, but I will be able to win CMP tie. But as you can see, I can actually still reach the Scorching Sands, which is going to do a ton of damage. Not gonna get the knockout, but as you're gonna see here, it does definitely get them fairly low. We will see as well that the opponent goes for the Focus Blast, and we can now go for the full farm down with the Dugtrio to win the game. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have a great lead again of the Flygon. Again, it's actually not as great as it seems. Yes, it's a Dragon type against a Fairy type Pokemon, but again, as said before, especially in the 2-shield scenario, this matchup is not really ideal. They're running Earth Power, which does a little bit more damage than the Scorching Sands, but they're also going to catch the move here onto their own Azumarill, which is a great play, and now we're kind of in a really bad spot, because we don't really have any answer for Azumarill anymore other than our own Azumarill, and we are in a spot where we have like less health than the opponent and also a little bit of less energy. And I tried to catch the move, and the opponent stood still there for a little bit, where I feel like maybe they actually tried to go for the play rough, but like it did not go through, and so I'm not going to be able to get another move off, which is really sad, and I'm fairly certain that the game kind of screwed me over here. But let's take a look at the opponent, what they're going to do here. They're going to, of course, still just go for the play rough. I still have to take it and just have to hope that somehow my Flygon is going to be able to win this game. But yeah, again, if I was able to catch the play rough there, which I feel like they went for it, but like the game kind of like, this is something that happens just quite often. If you have like basically swap out at the same time as the opponent gets to their move, like it sometimes happens that the opponent just does not get the move off, which of course here would be a benefit for them. But I feel like I would have lost this game no matter what, because a Ferrothorn in the back might be a little bit tricky for my backline as well. Like I'm not like Ferrothorn, I feel like it's very risky to play in the current meta. There are a lot of counter users and a lot of like the fire type with like the Turtonator, which is kind of common as well. So like shoutouts to you for running this, but yeah, I feel like it is definitely something that would have been tricky to win no matter what. So I feel like I would have lost this game no matter what. So like it's going to be fine. We're going to see here as well the opponent going to go into the Flygon again. I can still try my best with the Dragon Claws, but I feel like this game is kind of over already, and so we can basically now move on to the next one. As they go for the Dragon Claw, knock me out, and this is going to be it for this one, and let's move on to the next game. Next opponent, we're going to have another Azumarill in the lead, which I definitely going to take, because we can't just go for the play rough, and play rough is going to do some decent damage. And even like later on, you might be able to just go ahead and go into the Flygon and try to go for a charge move first. So like if you're gonna get them in Scorching Sands range, might be worth it to swap out, because you get basically 2 Scorching Sands after 4 bubbles, which is kind of decent for you. Like you need like 6 fast moves, I think, from the Flygon to get there. And so you're gonna just try to go for a play rough, hope that they're going to throw soon, which they do not here, which is kind of sad. And so I can take this move, and I could just decide to swap out now, which I decide to do as well. They most likely going to be able to outspeed me exactly because I went over in terms of the energy, but now I put them into a range where even the Dragon Claw would be enough to nearly knock them out at least. Let's take a look if this is actually going to work out for me. Dragon Claw is coming through, is going to not get the knockout, but they would be in range for like the Mud Shot down, so they decide to swap out. We get out the Turtonator, which is totally okay for me, as I will even be able to outspeed the opponent here, go for another Dragon Claw, and I could even decide to use another shield here, because I just outspeed them so easily that I could just like decide to go for another shield, exactly, and go for 2 more fast moves, and then even more than 2 more fast moves, I feel like, and just actually swap out into the Dugtrio and snipe the opponent. This is also a plan, I guess. Let's swap into the Registeel, and so I can just go for the Mud Bomb and get the final shield. And so I feel like the Flygon should be able to just win this game at this point. We're gonna get them so low, like honestly, Mud Slap against a Registeel, like one of the bulkiest Pokemon. It's just doing so much damage, it is a wild. And we can now see that we can just go for the Scorching Sands whenever we want, but the opponent decides to swap out into their own Azumarill. I can go for the Dragon Claw, knock them out, and the Scorching Sands is going to be enough to win this game for us. Registeel goes down. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're gonna have the Azumarill in the lead again, as he can try to go for some player of damage again here. Again, you can kind of try out to get them low enough that we can just go for Scorching Sands. If the opponent overfarms like crazy, it's going to be a little bit tricky, but if they go straight for the player off, that would be kind of nice for us, because then we would be able to outspeed them before they can get to an Ice Beam. But let's see here. We're gonna try to go maybe straight for the player off here, what you should have done, which I didn't do. So, like, if you play this matchup, I guess going straight for the player off there would help you out, because then the opponent doesn't get extra fast moves in. But now they swap out into the Registeel anyway, and I make a mistake. I should have went into my Flygon here and just went for the Scorching Sands. I'm fairly certain it still would have knocked them out. Here, I still can go for a charge move, which is kind of nice, and can still knock them out. But basically, yeah, my Dugtrio is now farm for the opponent's Azumarill. And so I can actually still go for a Mud Bomb. I guess that's kind of fine. Still going to do some damage with the fast move as well, getting the shield here. I mean, I guess it's kind of okay. We will see that they have a ton of energy, and I feel like having a shield advantage Flygon might be the best play that I can go for right now. So I should be able to just take 2 moves from the opponent here. Or, let's see, we're actually going to swap out here, and yes, they're gonna still get to another move, but I have now 2 fast moves advantage, still have a shield, still have the swap later on into my Azumarill, but they're also still going to have the Stunfisk in the back, and so we can go for Scorching Sands. If this gets the debuff, this game is over already. It does not, but the opponent let this move go through, and so at this point, they should be in Dragon Claw range with like a little bit of fast move damage. They go for the bait, which is a great play by them, but is it enough for them to win the game? This is going to be the question here. The Dragon Claw is going to get the shield from the opponent. We can still get to another one. This might not knock them out, but I think it's going to put them into bubble down range, and exactly this is going to happen here. They're going to go for the Earthquake as well, and I think the Azumarill just barely has enough energy already to get to another charge move. Ice Beam should be enough, but I'm gonna go for the risky play and go for the player off. For whatever reason, Ice Beam was clearly enough, but we can still win this game and move on to the next one. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have here the Alolan Sandslash in the Shadow variant in the lead here, and this is going to be a tricky lead for you to go for. What you kind of want to do for sure is try to go up to basically to like the Hydro Pump and then go for a charge move, which I didn't do here. It's like always this thing that I would have done differently now in hindsight, which is kind of the way to go, I guess. The opponent stays in here, which is a smart play, but now they swap out into the Azumarill, which is actually really good for us that they go into the Azumarill, because like this, I will get some Scorching Sands on to them basically, and I get even the attack drop, which is kind of nice. I misplayed there, but I also had a little bit of lag, which you maybe even saw there as well. So I should have went for the move way earlier. But like this, I can still at least force either the shield or the knockout against the Azumarill, which I'm totally okay with. So let's see what we can get here. We're gonna get another attack drop. We have 2 shields down at this point. So very likely that the opponent going to shield this move up as well. And they do, and they're going to have 3 attack drops in a row, I think, which is absolutely madness. Does not really make any difference though, because we're still in a very bad spot, but I can at least go for the full farm done with the Dugtrio, which maybe helps us out, but they have a Tapu Fini in the back, and I make a mistake here. I make actually a huge mistake, because I could have went for the Mud Bomb, which would have been way better, because it's clear that the opponent going to use a shield there, but if I went for the Mud Bomb, I kept some energy with that, and I would have been able to just go ahead and get to the next move a little bit easier and a little bit earlier, and this might have changed the game a little bit. We're gonna see the Moonblast coming through, and they're going to swap out here. I guess if I went for player off as well, I maybe would have put them into a farm down range afterwards, but yeah, I just made a lot of mistakes there, so I kind of deserved that loss. Final game for today, we're going to have a Flygon in the lead, and we see the swap immediately into the Togetic. And I think I kind of misplayed this one a little bit here as well, but let's see. We're going to see the Ice Beam coming through, we're going to do some decent damage, and I can try to swap into my Dugtrio. In theory, I would be able to resist every single move from the opponent. It just does not really look like it, does it? It just literally does not really look like it. So yeah, Dazzling Beam, while being resisted because we are Steel type, is literally doing 80% of our health, so that's not great. But at least we can still go for the Mud Bomb, which is going to be great, as it's going to get the shield from the opponent. And I am going to be forced to let this move go through, like, honestly. I thought here that I might just want to go for the Mud Shot down, but yeah, I decided then to just go for the Azumarill Bubble down, which I guess is a little bit smarter, but we're in a really tough spot now. I guess Togetic definitely has some play currently, but in comes now the Whimsicott. Is there a way of us winning this game? I was thinking at this point, and I was thinking that there is most likely no way of winning this game. Unless they have like Seed Bomb here, they have Grass Knot, which does more damage, but we can still survive it. Maybe there's still a chance. So let's take a look at this. We can still go for an Ice Beam. Ice Beam is going to get the final shield of the opponent, and of course we have to use our final shield here as well. The opponent knows about it, so they're gonna go for the Grass Knot again, which is a smart decision here, but do they catch the move? They do not catch the move, and with this, I know that I can still survive a Dragon Claw from the opponent, which you see here how much damage it's going to do. So what my play is now, I have to get up to both the Scorching Sands as well as the Dragon Claw at the same time, and I'm for sure here. And I can get the knockout now against the opponent's Flygon, but also I still reach the Scorching Sands, and this should be enough to knock them out, and it is. And with this, I can say thanks all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out the videos on the screen, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.